Hey all, Sphere here. I'm going to try to do some Angel Numerology today, and this video might be shorter or longer depending on how it goes. An important message to remember for these videos and my messages that I can channel for you uh, is to acknowledge that some of these messages can resonate, some of them will not resonate. Take it how it goes for you. And let's see. I take these messages as positivity, like always. I always take these messages for the positive influence they have. If anything seems negative, find a way to turn it to a positive, and then that's where you'll find your answers and your guidance. Uh, so today, I saw a number that stood out and very strongly in particular. Uh, it was 1444 or 1444. So, for me, that message, or for anyone actually, that message means a door's opening to a couple of very positive changes and endings and gainings. I don't even know if that's a word, but I, you understand it, hopefully. I, but so I feel like a lot of positive changes are going to be bringing balance. These positive changes are going to be due to death to a couple of different circumstances and scenarios. So endings, but there's a difference between endings and death, and endings are something or someone or circumstances that can end and maybe reappear later on, but death is final. And I mean, unless Jesus Christ and or God themselves say, hey, we're going to resurrect this, we're going to do this, but normally that means it's like it's going to be done and left for where it's going to be. I so definitely I feel like one of those positive changes and or death to a negative circumstance is going to be, I feel like a lot of everyone is going to be finding their inner passion, their inner fire that gets ignited, their inner light that pushes you hard straight from the heart. It's going to push you to your strengths that you never knew you had. It's going to push you to, and it's going to feel good. It's going to be positive. It might be an ending or a death that's going to be something negative, but it's not going to be negative. It's going to be positive because it's going to be a release from it. So it's going to feel like that you have a fire ignited, like an explosion, but like a controlled, continuous explosion of energy and passion and divine light within your heart that's going to push you so hard, but it'll feel good. And use that to your advantage. Use it for things that matter to you. Invest in that energy. Use it for the future, and use it how you follow your intuition first of all. Follow your heart and your soul. But and also use your mind. But just make sure you invest in that energy, such as like getting more exercise or getting more just do more of everything that you ever wanted to do. I do what do what you normally feel like you can't do, and just do it. Invest in it. I and if you have negative intentions of using that to hurt others, you will pay the consequences. I assure you that that's how God works. That's how the angels work. That's how Jesus Christ works. There are many, many, many divine forces that are always watching. Even if you think you're shrouded in darkness, even if you think you're invisible, God can see all. So if you try to use any of that energy and try to hurt others that are succeeding in life and or doing better in their life because you're jealous or you're spiteful, that'll be there will be a stop put to that very, very quickly. And I don't think you'll get you'll probably get some warnings, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to judge you for that, because I understand that sometimes we're dealt with cards that are seemingly just terribly unfair, for lack of better words and for curse words that I want to use sometimes. uh, but that does not mean that you should go out and hurt others. That does not mean that you should go out and try to destroy others and or make them suffer and or sabotage them. When you are given cards that seem like they're unfair, you take what feelings you're getting from those cards and you go and try to make sure that no one else has to suffer the same way you are. Do it from the heart, do it from the soul, do it from the good of what you can have from God, from the angels, from Jesus Christ, from the universe, from the archangels, the guardian angels, like anyone, the ascended masters, okay? And just the words I want to say is just don't. Just don't. And this is my way of warning you that any negative and or evil and or dark and or spellcraft or witchcraft or whatever you want to call it that you're trying to do to someone to ruin them, to sabotage them, to make him self-doubt, you will suffer the consequences. Like, God will get you for that. You might think you have a temporary victory, but that's all it's going to be, is temporary. So just know that you're protected. If you have true, genuine, good intentions in your heart and you're trying your best and you're doing all that you can do to be the best person that you can be and trying to use as much of the good positivity, the good intentions inside of your heart and your soul to do good for others and for yourself and in the name of the Lord, I'm confident that the Lord God will take care of you. He will protect you. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that God is there and God is watching and God loves us and protects us. And a message I got is when you see a child and or a soldier of God doing their thing, succeeding, do not ever try to hurt them. Do not ever try to pull them down. Do not ever try to cast them in shadows or shroud them in shadows and or negativity and pessimism and self-doubt. Never, ever, ever. And I'm not saying this to protect them. I'm saying this to protect you, evil forces. Because there's such thing as mercy. And if God can have mercy, we can have mercy. But that does not mean that God won't be wrathful for it. Let's see. With that and take, if that's all messages for you, if you feel like that you're doing something wrong, maybe this is a warning that I'm channeling from God to for a warning, for a chance, for a second chance to right your wrongs, to change your ways before it's too late. But any of these messages can, if it feels like it resonates, if you feel like it's for you, then it's for you. And don't shoot the messenger. Do not shoot the messenger. I'm just here doing my job. I'm doing what I'm required to do. I'm doing what I'm made to be doing, and that's what I'm gonna do. So next message would be let me think here for a second. Death, bring in positive changes, bring in happy changes. Okay. You might feel like that you're stuck. You might feel like that you're stuck somewhere, not being able to go anywhere, not being able to do anything. I just know that's gonna change for you, and know that you're protected. I Lots of positive changes happening due to death of negative circumstances and negativity going on. I Keep the faith, keep the hope, keep your gratitude, and definitely keep your love because love is the strongest of them all. I 1536. By the way, I you could also go to the Bible and look up these numbers as well. You will possibly more than likely find Bible verses, and that's the way I want to do things from now on instead of referencing tarot cards. Uh, I'm not gonna try to sit here and say like, "Oh, you don't read the Bible, you're a bad person." That's not who I am. That's not how I want to be because I know how that feels. Just because you're in a different place in your life doesn't mean that someone else who's a little bit advanced ahead of you in that part of their life compared to you doesn't mean that they're better than you. It just means that you're working on different aspects of your life compared to them. Keep in mind that every soul is unique. And just because someone might seem like they're a little bit farther ahead of you doesn't mean that you're not going to succeed. Don't look at other people's progress compared to yours. Stay in your own lane. Do your own thing. And so 1536, maybe a doorway is opening and or closing that's going to create some changes along your spiritual path that will bring about stability and peace and harmony. And you are definitely to put those energies and those changes and those everything that's going to happen for you to use. Don't let it just sit there. Don't not make any movements. Move forward. If once the door is open for you to move forward, you do it because if once that door closes, you might not ever have that door open again. Be like a machine, okay? Be like a machine in your life. Keep yourself. This might sound wrong. This might sound wrong, but keep yourself lubricated and oiled. I don't know what that would mean, honestly, but this might be a message someone needs to hear. Keep the gears lubricated and oiled. Keep your gears cool and calm and collected. Don't overdrive yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. Kind of think of like this. You drive a car around a lot. You got to make sure you keep your oil change, your oil filter clean, and you got to make sure that you keep your coolant in there. You got to keep the gas. I mean, sometimes we got to fast. Like, sometimes God wants us to fast. But I don't know what those reasons are, but you got to keep the gasoline in there. You got to keep your fuel. You got to keep the air in your tires. You got to keep your paint clean and smooth and finished and protected. Keep your brakes on, keep your brake fluid, your steering fluid. Just take care of yourselves. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Make sure you're running in proper maintenance, proper order. Keep the balance. And don't let anyone try to pull you down whenever you're doing something like that. because our personal needs and health and safety and well-being is much more important than someone trying to pull you down and trying to make you feel bad about stuff and trying to just doing it out of jealousy or doing it out of spite because they hate seeing you doing better than others, better than them. So they're gonna try to pull you down so you don't succeed, so they feel better than you because they know they don't have the willpower and drive to do as good as you. They know that they don't have it in their heart to stay in their own lane and do things there for their life, stay in their own life, stay in their own lane. Instead, they have to look at other people doing better than them and pull them down and put you underneath their feet so they feel better, so they feel like they're raised up. But even if that does happen, even if you're stuck in a situation to where you have no choice but to succumb to them, which usually there's always a way, because if you're righteous in your heart through God's eyes, then there will always be a way. There will always be a way. But don't let anyone try to step on you and stand on you. If you're doing good for yourself and you're staying in your own lane, minding your own business, and you have people out around you trying to pull you down and make you suffer and sabotage you and going behind the scenes, that's telling a lot about their lives. That's telling a lot about how they feel about themselves. And that's the point where you need to realize you might not be able to trust them. You can definitely forgive them, but that does not mean you have to trust them. That does not mean that you have to stay in contact with them. That does not mean that you have to. I don't know. But one thing it does mean is that you have to show them compassion and mercy and forgiveness and love and empathy. Imagine yourself in their shoes and how you would feel, how you would be thinking. Like I said, some people are dealt with some very, very crappy cards in life. And they are truly, genuinely suffering. If you feel called to help them and you have the means to help them and keep yourself up and running and happy and safe and healthy, then do it. But if you feel like if you can't afford it, and you're gonna like start pulling out of your own needs and sacrificing parts of yourself, do not do it. Do not do it. Because the only person who's gonna take care of you is you. Think of it this way. You're on a boat that's sinking. And I know it starts off grim, but it's a grim thing, but think of it this way. You're on a boat that's sinking. There's only a couple of life jackets left. You have it in your heart to go out and help people and save them. But if you start saving other people before yourself, there's not going to be a you to save them. There's not going to be a you to help them and rescue them. Sure, you might know how to swim, but how long are you going to be able to swim for? And yes, there's the circumstance where people do not care if everyone else on the entire boat dies and drowns, but be that one person who's going to be better. Grab a life jacket for yourself and do what you can do to help everyone around you. Don't put the judgment to remember, oh, this person did bad to me, this person did bad to them. Like, use your heart, use your soul, and help those that you can. And use rationality too, by the way. But just make sure you take care of yourself first, because if you don't, there's not going to be a you to take care of everyone else. And that's a lesson that a lot of everyone needs to learn. And a lesson that a lot of everyone takes too far or not enough. What matters is that you do what's right out of your heart, but you also take care of yourself first, your needs first. I feel like today was a little bit more of an intense video, but there's a lot of messages in this video. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who take these messages and understand them and appreciate them. Then there's going to be a lot of people who's not going to be able to resonate at all. That's not for me to judge or decide. What matters is that I'm giving light from my heart, because I know there's an infinite abundance available to me, because my intentions are pure. And yeah, that's moral of the story. Moral of the scenario that I've just said. But I think that's it for this video today. New schedule is every other day I will post at least one video. I realize that this video is quite long, and if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And if this resonated, please do leave a like and subscribe. And if you want, leave a comment. It'll really help me, and I would definitely really appreciate it. But I think that's all I have for today. Stay strong, stay in your own lane, and keep your intentions pure. At least meaningful to your heart and your soul. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I wish light and love to you all, and I love you all.